wonder how long it takes for people to start coming in now that I can't, for some reason now I can't see what the count is because I'm streaming on 2 separate places. Mobile live dashboard manager. I know that. It's sending me messages that I can manage my account from my dashboard. Yeah. Hi, silly. How about a slushy or squishy or frosty or whatever you want to call it, right? Hello, Iowa Mouse. Virtual, how are you doing? It's 104 degrees out. The stupid motor that runs the fan in my AC system is only blowing on low speed. Got it turned all the way to high and it'll still only blow on low, so I need to get a new one again. Yep, that's why I got one of these. So, I'm also supposed to be sleeping right now because I got to pick up a load at 10 o'clock tonight here in Salt Lake City, and that puts, so if you're on the East Coast, that makes it midnight. If you're in Central Time, that's going to make it 11 o'clock, and if you're on Pacific Time, that makes it 9 o'clock. Good, good. Nice to see you got over from YouTube there, East Hill. So, if anybody doesn't know, I am now multiple streaming at the same time, both on YouTube and on Twitch. I do believe Silly has my Twitch ID. You can find me there. It doesn't drop anything, when it drops, if it does drop or glitch, it comes right back without me having to restart anything or figure out that I lost my signal or whatever. So there won't be any restarts. If you just go to it, it'll go blank screen for however long that I don't have the signal or that I'm in a spot where it glitched, but then it comes right back. So you don't have to go searching for a new one, and you don't have to wait for notifications. Not to mention the notifications seem to always go out from Twitch when, you know, YouTube sometimes doesn't send them out until 20 minutes after the video's over. Yeah. So I made that switch. That's one of the important things to tell you all today. We're going to be streaming on both, so if you lose me on YouTube, you can probably find me still streaming on Twitch. So there's that. There's also the fact that I got to pick up a load at 10 o'clock tonight and then drive all night. So if we have any night owls, if there's any night owls in the group, let's do it, because I'm going to be up. I'm driving from Salt Lake all the way back to Portland overnight. I got to be there on Friday. And since I'm picking it up in the middle of the night, I got to drive as far as I can get before I get too tired and shut down, and then get some sleep, and then get going again so that I'm there on time. Where can I set this without falling? Fit in that? Oh good, it fits in that. Good. Give me a second here. I'm going to put the fan, instead of having it in front of my AC vent, I've been holding this in front of my AC vent, this fan. The biggest reason I've been doing that is so that I could get the air blowing at me a little better. But we're not gonna, the phone's gonna overheat any second if I don't move the fan over onto the phone. So there we go. All right, let's see. Hello, Gail. Hello, Tammy. Iowa Mouse. Prism. Hello, Sherry. And Virtual, I know you're there too, because I already said hi to you. I already said hi to Silly. So let me see here. I'm gonna type this in here. That's not what I meant. Delete it. Oh, cancel. Boom. Text. So, the Black Wolf Transport LLC, that is my Twitch ID for everybody in YouTube that is still watching right now. If you have a Twitch, and even if you don't, I would recommend you get one because it's a far better and more clear streaming service. The video is clearer, it holds better, it doesn't drop anywhere near as much as YouTube does. And it doesn't have anybody that's just going to cut the stream on you like YouTube does. You know, yesterday I had lost the stream like almost a dozen times, and every time it was an error on the YouTube side, which basically tells you somebody at YouTube cut the stream. So apparently they didn't like what I was saying, and Twitch doesn't do that. So I'll continue streaming on both of them, but the fact remains that we're pushing out on both now. And I'm looking at pushing out on a couple of others and just seeing what it takes, you know. The other thing, like I said, I'm going to be driving all night tonight, so, or at least trying to see if I can stay awake. I can't even sleep right now, it's so hot. I gotta wait for the sun to go down for it to start cooling down before I can even start to think about getting some rest. So I'll probably get a couple hours nap in before I have to go pick up this load. And then we're good to go, right? Yeah, well, East Hill, you should notice a big difference when you're watching through the Twitch. The only time you're going to see it drop out, and it'll drop out and just have like a blank screen there, okay, on Twitch, if it has a problem. The only time you're probably going to see that is if I completely lose my signal, or if the cell towers don't switch soon enough and it drops. In that case, the second I have a strong signal back, I don't have to do anything. As long as I still have my streaming app up and running, it'll automatically pick it back up on Twitch. So your screen will go blank for a second, or a couple of minutes, depending on how long it takes me to get back into a signal, and then the video will just be right back wherever I am when it comes back. So it won't be glitch, and it won't sit there and buffer. It doesn't do that on Twitch. That's a YouTube thing, and they do that to the people that they don't want heard. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Lisa. So, anybody got any questions? Got anything to talk about? What state are you from, and who's running for your state, your Senate and your Congress seats? Yeah, if you just wait. It'll come right back. You know, you don't have to You don't have to sign out. You don't have to go looking for the next one to pop up. Not to mention, all the videos are stored all on one URL, where YouTube stores all my videos on each one as its own URL. So, you know, even my older videos, once they're done, they're stored away. And if you go to my URL, you can see my whole list. You can see what's live, but you can see all the others too. And you can choose to watch whichever one you want. Yeah, silly. Okay, silly, since you are right there. Oh, nope, I already have you that. Okay. Cancel that. Well, you know what, East Hill, you could do what my wife just did. She begged and begged and begged for the last several years to get some help with the job that she does or was doing, because she was literally doing the job of like 20 different people. And every time, instead of giving her somebody to train so that they could help her, they gave her a new boss. All the old bosses, that they, you know, it started with one boss, and they give her another boss. So now she's got two, then they give her another, now she's got three. But earlier this year, she went through her review and everything, and she was hammered by all this stuff that wasn't getting done on time and things like that. You know, she works in the petroleum products distribution industry, so, you know, she deals with the DEQ testing and everything for the state when it comes to fuel stations and stuff. But you know, they hammered her again this year on her review about, you know, how things weren't getting done on time and stuff, and she just kept telling them, I have told you so many times for so many years, I need somebody else to help with it because it is too much. You expect me to answer the phones, you expect me to do accounts payable and accounts receivable, you expect me to set up the appointments for everybody, you expect me to keep track of and keep the appointments set for all the technicians, and then all the DEQ testers, and you expect me to keep in touch with all these big companies for what jobs they've got, you know, here and there. And it was just a giant mess. And she says, every time I do that, every time I ask you guys for help, instead of giving me somebody or hiring somebody that I can train to help, you give me a new boss that just wants to tell me what they think I should be doing. So, you know, by the time they finish that review, 2 weeks later, instead of hiring somebody that she can train, they give her another boss. Go figure. So she puts in her 2 weeks, and then they start scrambling. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Nobody knows how to do everything you do. You're the only person here that knows any of that. And she said, well, over the last several years, I gave you plenty of opportunities to get somebody in there that I could train, that could help me. And now, since you kept refusing to do that, and you kept putting more people in charge of me, I now have, you know, she has like 12 bosses instead of one helper. She said, you got my 2 weeks, I'm done. I'm out. If you can't find somebody to hire into here that I can train before then, I'm sorry. That's not my problem. Because you told me, I'm sorry, it's not my problem, here's another boss. How do you get my numbers up? You start sharing my videos everywhere you can. You start sharing my videos everywhere you can. And you start dropping the wolf paws and say hello from Black Wolf's channel in other people's live streams. yeah, if you can share one of my videos over to Facebook and over to Twitter and over to Getter and over to Truth Social, or all of your different apps, share it out. Share each one of them. And when I go live, share. You can come in, you can click the copy link to the video if I'm live right now. You can click the share and then copy the link, and then go to all of your different social media apps and post them. That'll start bringing some people in. Yep. Silly, you're probably going to have to bounce back and forth, because I don't think you can see what the comments in YouTube are at the same time that you're seeing the Twitch ones. So you're going to have to probably bounce back and forth. I'm going to need to start getting some mods solely for the Twitch side. Yeah, well, my wife felt the same way. She did for so long, and her and I talked about it quite a bit. So over the years, until my wife quit talking to me. See, the thing is, I find some of this stuff out through my children, and then I ask her about it, and she's like, "Well, what do you care?" So anyway. Sometimes I have to force the conversation when I'm home. It's the only time I get to talk to her anymore, because she refuses to call me or even answer the phone if I call. She had a dream several years back that basically ruined our marriage. She's holding a grudge over a dream of that. So, anyway, it's also a privately owned company. Our family had been close friends with the boss, the owner, the main owner of the company, for many, many years. She's worked there since 2000, and just a couple of weeks ago she had to walk out on him on her last day after the 2 weeks was up, without having trained anybody, because they didn't get anybody. And now they are trying to hire somebody into her position to do everything that she did for minimum wage. And here's the problem with that. She could barely handle it herself. She started at the bottom as just a call taker, and then, all these other things started getting added on and added on and added on, and she ended up being the only person that did some of that stuff, and it just got more and more and more and more over the years. And like I said, she's doing the job of like 20 people. So they expect some kid to come in for minimum wage to do all that. Porn bots in YouTube already. Ugh. You're a bouncing ball for now, silly. That might be why we call you Silly. That's why your name's Silly, right? Because you're still bouncing around. Oh. See, that's the other thing, is we're not going to get porn bots in. We're not going to get porn bots in Twitch. Because once you block them, they're gone. YouTube, you block them, 10 minutes later they're back. But yeah, now she's instead of doing that, she's in the middle of training right now. She's going to be a postal carrier, driving a little mail truck all day long, delivering the mail to people's houses. Yep. At least she's inner city and she's doing it with a company or a USPS postal truck instead of, you know, when I first got out of the Army, I tried to do that. And I applied for the city job so that I would have the postal truck and the whole nine, right? Well, you know, they call me in and do my training and everything, and then they turn around and dump me into rural, outside of city mail delivering, and I had to use my own car. And then they immediately put me on an account that was so huge it could not possibly be done in one afternoon. How the guy that was running it normally was able to do it, we don't know. I don't know. But I was never able to make it back before 5 o'clock. And by the time I had gone through a couple of weeks, a lady from the office comes down and says, well, you're never back before 5. What is wrong? You've had a couple of warnings here. You've been written up for it. To my knowledge, I had never even been talked to about it, right? She says, we got to let you go. 2 weeks later, they split that route up into 3 different routes. Yep. Gotta love the way employers think. The reason I found out 2 weeks later that they had split that route up into 3 is because they called me back and asked if I would take my job back, because they realized they made a mistake because the route was so huge that it had to be cut into 3 different routes, and that they realized that it was the job of 3 people. I told them, you made your bed, lie in it, find somebody else. I've already got another job. Yeah, Tammy, 87-mile route. That's pretty bad. Trying to keep cool. Corn bots don't actually go to real website. There it said, so I don't know. I guess yes. That's your. Yeah, it probably is one of the alphabet soup there. Yes, for anybody that is coming in now, so I now am streaming on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So what I'm doing, what I'm saying, what you see on the video and what you hear right now is also happening on Twitch at the same time. The reason for that is, if something goes wrong on the YouTube side, or if somebody at YouTube decides to kill the stream, or if I run into no signal or whatever, it kills the stream, and I have to make a whole new one each time. With Twitch, I don't have to do that. If it glitches because, well, the other thing is nobody at Twitch is turning the signal off, and also, Twitch doesn't just drop on its own, like YouTube does. If I lose my signal, the screen will be in video, and then it'll go blank, or it'll have whatever picture I choose to put up or whatever, right? Because I still gotta go into my profile and choose a picture for it to post up in the middle for when it's not on. And so the second I'm back in a signal, as long as I didn't turn off my live streaming app, it comes right back up. I've thought about it, but I also have prior commitments that were made long before even the People's Convoy that make sure that I have to be here on the West Coast for the 4th of July. So joining Santa for the 4th of July is not an option for me. I wish I could. I really, really do, but I cannot. Because I have, like I said, I've got these commitments that I made even long before the People's Convoy was a thing. And I have to keep those, you know. When you're doing a business, you stay a man of your word. If you don't stay in business, right? Not to mention, if you can't stay a man of your word in everything in your life, then you're not really a good person. Well, the micromanaging that's happening in your area is probably solely just your area, because there's every different post office that you work out of is different, because it's run by different people. The main management is different, and how they choose to deal with their people are different. According to what my wife described this weekend, she's going to be working with a whole bunch of cut-ups, so, you know, comedians. So basically it's pretty lax where she's at, I guess. So that's part of the news. The other part of the news that you might have missed, it's too hot for me to get to sleep right now, even with my AC blasting, but and I should be, because I got to pick up a load at 10 o'clock tonight in Salt Lake City, Utah. So Pacific time, that's 9 o'clock. Central time, it's 11 o'clock. And Eastern time, it's midnight. Once I pick it up, I've got to drive through most of the night, or at least until I get too tired to drive. Because I have to have it back in Portland, Oregon on Friday. And it's almost a 2-day drive from here. So if anybody's a night owl, I'm gonna be up and I'll be live streaming. Yeah, it'll be dark, but we'll see what we get, right? Here, let me give you a view here. Here we go again. Lisa, what do you mean, here we go again? Each one of them is a brand new one, Lisa. You know, those spam bots, those porn bots, they're all, every time they come in, they're a completely different one. We block them every time. What's really funny, the only YouTube live streams or YouTube channels that get hit with the spam bots like that are the ones that are conservative or completely against the current agenda and status quo, which means they're the ones that the government or the people pulling the strings don't want anybody to hear. That's why they're doing it. They're shoving those down our throat, because if we get enough of them that we miss and don't block, they can turn around and demonetize us. I'm not monetized yet. I don't have enough subscribers yet. They can demonetize us. They can start reducing how many mods we have. Or that we're allowed to have, which makes it even worse, so there's more of them, and then they turn around and eventually they say, well, there's all this crap here in your comment streams, nothing but this, and this, and this, and this. It all violates our community standards, which, by the way, they created because they started taking away your mods. point, they turn around and say, channel's blocked and banned, can't use it anymore. That's how they squash the voice. That's how they squash the voice. It's pure censorship. Here we go. You in there, silly? You on the YouTube side, silly? You want to hit that? is it's far more stable. It doesn't drop as often, and there's nobody at Twitch that's just gonna cancel the signal because they don't like what's being talked about. The other thing is if I lose my signal and I keep streaming anyway, the second I have my signal back, Twitch will go to a screen, kind of like a timeout screen or a blank screen, or if I put a picture up, if I load a picture up, and it'll just display that picture. As long as I continue streaming, even though I don't have a signal, when I get back into a signal, it instantly picks up right where I am when I get back into a signal. So, unlike YouTube, where you have to go in and you have to end the old stream, make a new stream, title it, and the whole nine, and then it's, and it's all, each different one is a different URL. With Twitch, it's all one URL. And I pinned at the top of the comments the Black Wolf Transport LLC. That is my screen name in Twitch. Yeah, I'm doing alright. It's just a little too hot out here today. I mean, I shouldn't be sleeping right now because I gotta pick up a load late tonight and drive all night long. It's just too hot. Got Patriot Mechanic in their subscribed list. Anybody subscribing to Patriot Mechanic? Anybody in here is subscribed to Patriot Mechanic? Y'all can hop over to his YouTube right now. Drop off a hello with a bunch of Wolfie paw prints and American flags. Hello from Black Wolf. We're gonna do a raid on Patriot Mechanic. Even I'm gonna go over there real quick. Hang on. Alright, there we go. I already went over and left a hello from Black Wolf with a bunch of paw prints. I can hear their live stream in my ears right now. Everybody get over there and raid Patriot Mechanic. Show them some love. Not be out in that kind of weather. Austin just now canceled it. Well, guess what? By federal order, they were supposed to have canceled it at, like, middle of February. So they were breaking the federal orders by keeping it up that whole time. Every bit of that is all about grabbing power. Showing people who's in charge, right? We rule you. No, they don't. So, if anybody is still in here on the YouTube side, you can hear me. I am now on Twitch. I pinned my screen name to the top of the comments there. It's Black Wolf Transport LLC on Twitch. So if the YouTube side crashes, the Twitch side doesn't crash like that. So if you lose me here, you can go to Twitch and just continue on. Oh, almost. You know, this next fall, it's going to be around 25 years. Dash Hound, it's going to be about 25 years this next fall. Nobody wants them stupid blue helmets in this country. That's why we cannot allow our government to sign any agreement with the WHO, because the second the WHO, if they do that, if they sign that agreement, the second the WHO declares some kind of worldwide pandemic, that gives them the right to take full control of our country, our president, our government, our Congress, our Senate, our military. They will not have any control or any say. Everything that will be done will be at the behest of the WHO. In other words, they will be running this country at that moment. And if they decide that they're going to send in the blue helmets because they want certain things enforced and enacted, like curfews and certain jobs can't be worked anymore, stuff like that, they're going to send the blue helmets in to do that. That's why we can't allow it. Yeah. The Twitch stream definitely looks a lot better than the YouTube stream, doesn't it? Hello, Tommy. Nice to see you. So I've got a message to put out there, Tommy, since you just entered the room. Tonight, I should be sleeping right now, but it's too hot to sleep. I got to pick up a load at 10 o'clock in Salt Lake City. So Eastern time, that's midnight. Pacific time, that's 9 o'clock. I'll be picking it up, and then I'll be driving through most of the night all the way to Portland. I won't get all the way to Portland because it's like a 2-day drive. But I'll drive as far as I can until I cannot stay awake any longer. So if you have any night owls or anything, I'm going to be up driving all night. Good, good. See you registered on Twitch now. All right. New subscriber, Cheyenne. Hello. Oh, of course they won't. They'll turn around and demand everybody turn theirs in. They'll be standing on everybody's front door demanding their weapons. is at agreement with the WHO. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I had that kind of trouble too. That's why I had to just make it Black Wolf Transport LLC, because somebody else on Twitch is already running under the name Black Wolf. I'm pretty sure as soon as somebody else was watching one of the streams yesterday with Tommy Temper when we were talking about it, as soon as they found out that I was going to go to Twitch, they jumped over there instantly and took the name. So, I mean, I had that same problem with YouTube, which is why I ended up using the umlaut over the O in Wolf on YouTube. Because when I first looked at YouTube and went searching, I didn't find anybody with the name Black Wolf, right? So I was talking to a couple of people about it before I went and did it. One of those people is one of those other wolves that we shall not talk about. I had talked to them about it, and then I go in and make the channel and find out I can't have Black Wolf. Somebody just had it, right? So I go look again to see who it is, and it suddenly come up with 20 or 30 different Black Wolves in all kinds of combinations. So I put the umlaut on, and that worked. But you know, I was already using the umlaut in my for my company name in the first place. And I've been that way for a while. Yeah, they went haywire. Every time I say that I'm going to do something, somebody goes and tries to make it so that I can't. Guess what? I don't know can't. There is no can't. Can't does not exist in my vocabulary. No, excuse me, it does exist in my vocabulary, but it is not in my dictionary. I don't understand that word. It does not exist to me. Not in reality. You tell me I can't and I prove you wrong. That's the type of person that I am. But yeah, we're streaming now both live on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time. For the YouTube people, I've got my screen name for Twitch posted right at the top of the chat. It's permanently pinned there for right now. You can see it. I suggest you get over onto the Twitch side, because Twitch is far better, especially when it comes to dropping signals and things like that, because Twitch just comes right back up instead of me having to end the live stream and make a whole new live stream and go through all of that mess just to get it back up. You know. Also, from what I understand, Twitch never has a problem getting the notifications out when I go live, like YouTube does. So, there's that. And again, like I said, I'm picking up a load late tonight, and I'll be driving through most of the night. So if anybody's a night owl, go ahead and feel free to join in my live stream overnight, because I'll be live streaming as much as I can while I'm driving across the middle of nothing in the dark. Hello, Michelle. So, what's new in the world of the political arena today? Anybody got anything new today? Where do you live? What state do y'all live in? And who are your senatorial and congressional candidates? Have you taken the time to research their backgrounds and their track records and their voting histories, their financial histories, their tax histories, and their criminal histories? Have you taken the time to do that on them before you go and vote? And have you gone and singled out single out all of those politicians that have been in office for more than 2 terms. Because those ones that you're going to single out that have been in for more than 2 terms, those are the ones you are not going to vote for, or you should not vote for, because they're the ones that have put us in this mess. Nobody, no politician, Congress or Senate, should be in a position or in a seat for longer than 2 terms. None of them. It was never meant to be a career position. As a matter of fact, it used to. They actually used to have term limits until they voted themselves. They made their own little bill, and they got together with the House and the Senate together in cahoots. They made their own little bill, and they voted on it, and they passed it with the right president in at the time, and boom, no more term limits. Guess what? We need to bring them back, and we need to do it through the vote, because they didn't give us the choice, so it's time for us to not give them the choice. Vote them out. Get them out of your cities, get them out of your counties, get them out of your state seats, get them out of your Congress and your Senate seats. Anybody that has been in any one particular seat for longer than 2 terms needs to be gone. Vote for somebody else. Do your research on who you're voting for. And it does not matter if they are a Republican or a Democrat, or if they're on the left-wing side or the right-wing side. Does not matter, because they're both working on the same agenda. So if you find that you have always been a Republican or conservative side or a right-wing side, but you find a new candidate that has never been in that seat before, and they happen to be a liberal or on the left side, then and everything that their track record tells you and their voting history and all of that coincides with your beliefs and your vision of what we need for the future, if everything tells you that that's the right person, then it doesn't matter what their party is. Vote for them. But don't vote for anybody that's had that seat for 2 terms or more. Yes, this semi-truck has a sunroof on it. Good. Don't forget to hit the like button. Like, subscribe, share, turn on the notifications. And then also join over on my Twitch. My Twitch screen name is posted to the top of the comment stream. Raped one of my flags across my driver's window to keep the sun from beating directly on me.